Hey guys, so I invented a new way of cutting nickel plates when you spot weld your DIY electric skateboard battery. So here's how I used to do it. You can see I just cut it, and when you cut it, with a regular scissor, it just, the ends get all banged up, so you flatten it out. Well, I found a much better way to do it. So I figured out, oh, why don't you just cut it round? So when you cut it out round, what happens is basically the nickel plate, it gets rid of those weird edges. So it just becomes flat again. And then now when you try to fit the positive terminals, it fits right on the round spot. And what it does is you get this perfect spot welding. So you have a nice distance between the ring. And I'm not using any insulating ring, but I'm going to, because I just found out about it. But this keeps everything super clean looking. And so I tried doing that with this 30T12S2P. And you could see it fits round and it makes sense. Now you don't have to have the metal hanging out, because that, in case your battery starts on fire and shorts, then you have the additional metal strip here that could potentially burn through the ring here. But this way, you also fit to the terminals perfectly. And it gets rid of these sharp edges. The thing with the sharp edges, if there's like a accident, the sharp edges might hit the battery and cause fire. So my next design will actually include a sheet of paper. So the thing with plastic, it insulates fine, but when one of the battery shorts, for example, you get in an accident, and what will happen is it will actually burn through this ring, which is all of this without this plastic cover on these cells is basically negative terminal. So when you do that, it starts fire, and it could short. Basically, by insulating, you can prevent bigger fires, or you could slow it down to a point where you could hose it down and save the rest of the batteries. So insulation, a huge part of it, and I've been using Kapton tape. So another great thing to use Kapton tape after you spot weld, tape right over it and make sure this is really nicely stuck on and sort of stretch it out. And what this will do is your spot welds, it will keep, it will keep it in there. All right, and then you can also shrink wrap it to keep it real good. I mean, my spot welding is pretty good, but sometimes there's a lot of vibrations. It could take it apart. The first layer of protection is Kapton tape, because these batteries never going to get to 200 degrees Celsius, which the Kapton battery, the tape is rated for. If you use like duct tape, it's not rated for that. So if the battery reaches like 80 degrees, and it might melt the adhesive. By using Kapton tape, even if battery heats up, you'll be completely safe, because it will still hold the adhesive. That's why this tape is great. So tape right over your solder work, right? Just keep it as a sort of a secondary insurance, and then later you shrink wrap it. That's a third layer. So there's a lot to think about when you build a battery. But for right now, I invented a new way of cutting the nickel plates. And let me go ahead and show you. Let me see if I have a nickel plate to show you. I think I'll have some here. So let me go ahead and show you. This is what happens when you cut a nickel plate. It forms this ugly edge, right? And a lot of people, what you can do is get like a steel plate and get something flat and just flatten out. You could do that, but you still have these sharp edges, which could puncture batteries. I mean, once you make it flat, I guess it's okay. But a better way to do it, if you don't have something to flatten it, just go ahead and cut a sort of like a round shape. What that will do is allow the scissors to get rid of that spot and make it super flat. And at the same time, get rid of those edges, right? And this keeps everything much safer. You see how it's raggedy, versus once you cut it round, it becomes very, very flat, right? It's a great way, because you never want, in your battery design, you don't want something sharp, because something sharp means if it's at a wrong angle, it could puncture through the battery cover, all right, if it's pressed hard on. But by having it curved like this, all right, oh, it's still sharp, and then you can cut it a little bit more to make it not sharp at all right? And when you cut it around like that, it doesn't, you know, it makes it flat, so you can get rid of this. So let me go ahead and try with this one. And you want it sort of a nice, just a little flat, not flat, just a little curve. You don't have to have a huge curve. Think of like an ellipse. And once you do that, you have this nice looking battery, and this will fit right over the positive terminals, also giving you that, you know, you don't have to waste extra space, and it fits right in there, and that looks much neater than it was, you know, sharp. All right, so I think this is great. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is my new invention, sort of how to cut the LED, the nickel strips, so they become, you know, much safer, and you can also flatten them without actually flattening them.